the very first episode, right? If anyone listening decided, you know what, I'm gonna start now. What was supposed to start yesterday? No, sorry. What was supposed to start tomorrow starts tonight.
That's right.
There's
Hell yeah.
there's something we say a lot in the studio, and honestly, at this point, I think it might just be our slogan, but it's very true. We always ask ourselves, like, what's our other options? What are our other options? To not do it?
Yeah, what kind of an option is that?
Yeah, and whenever we kind of like put things in that perspective, it almost becomes like a joke, it feels like everything becomes more like chill and laid back, and it becomes like a little obvious, like, yeah, well, of course we're gonna do it, because the other option is
not, and then yeah, like, seriously, what kind of a choice is that? It's like whenever things
be normal.
Yeah, and like
imagine
gross, right? Yeah, like all the time when I'm like, oh man, this challenge, this thing we're working on, it feels like so much, it's so overwhelming. Like, what would I do? Like, what else would I do? Like, just not do the thing that I love? Like, then what am I going to do with my time? Yeah, that perspective.
I feel like Koa has picked up on that perspective since he started biting your shoe. Like, what else am I gonna do? Not bite it?
Yeah, just not bite the shoe that's laying here in front of me. Do or do not. There is no try.
Let's say, especially if it's like, it's about taking a leap of faith, right? Something I've seen a lot is, as a VTuber, when the big agencies would finally open their door and say, you know what, everybody, send in your little resumes and tell us why you want to be part of our agency. A lot of people, and this always became the talk of the town, the trending topic, which was, hey, people would talk about it. I applied or I didn't apply, but one of the topics was a lot like people would say, you know what, I know I'm not gonna get taken, so I'm not even gonna try. Like, I'm not gonna waste their time and my time. But the thing is, and I see it like this: you're standing in this area, and this area, you're not part of the agency. And what's outside of this area is when you finally take a leap and you are potentially in the agency, right? When you apply, and to me, it makes no sense. To me, you're already not in the agency. You know what I mean? You're already, so it's like, the same thing. It's like, here's I don't know, if you're thinking of like, wait, is this a good example? I was about to say, like, if you're thinking about like confessing your feelings to someone, it's like you're already not going out with this person. If you get rejected, something we hear a lot, and it's kind of true. It's, what do you have to lose, right? Mm-hmm. Now I know not everything is black or white, as simple as that, but I think it's worth just thinking about it. Think about it.
Yeah,
maybe
those concepts have value.
Yeah.
Those concepts have value. It's like, oh man, like my train of thought got like kind of derailed. No, train, come back.
No, the last brain cell.
The last brain.
No. Moving on. Okay, so whenever you have this situation, the worst case scenario, like with the example of the VTuber agency, is that things keep going the way that they're going. So like, yeah, it really does. Yep. It doesn't, like, why wouldn't you give yourself that opportunity? Like, because it only creates more potential for you, and otherwise you stay the same. It's a control mechanism, which will be a great topic to talk about, because I have worked on that with my therapist extensively, letting go of that concept of control, because we absolutely cannot control everything except for what is immediately on our court. So yeah, why wouldn't you give yourself the opportunity? And in the example of confessing, right, that's the point where you don't want to keep yourself in limbo. You don't want to keep yourself in limbo. You wonder, what if? But if you take that chance, either things move forward in a direction that you're hoping that they will, Or then you can start moving on in a different direction. It's better than just being stuck. It's just better than just running a hamster wheel, wondering, and doing that thing where you just drift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something similar that I have discussed with my therapist in the past is that staying in the state that you're in, even if it's the worst place you've been in your entire life, you are afraid to change anything because it's unfamiliar. It's something new, and where you are, even though it's hurting you, it's something that you know how to deal with. It's something that you're familiar with, and it's safe by that logic.
Right.
But stepping out of your comfort zone, trying something new, it's weird and new and something you don't know, and that's why you're held back on changing stuff. And once I realized, I was like, you know what? It's adventure time.
Hell yeah. It's so true. It's so true. I don't usually read self-help books, but I remember I read, or listened rather, to one. I'll have to remember his name, but it made that exact point, right? Like as humans, like our survival instinct is so strong that we would rather stay in something that is uncomfortable, but we know we can survive it, right? Like it's not great. We may even hate it, but we know what to expect. And there's such a relief in knowing what to expect that you'll hold on to a situation that you don't even like for that, because it's easier than the unknown. The unknown feels so big. It feels so scary, so much scarier for the unknown, even if there's great potential. The unknown is so much scarier than sitting where you are with what you know. It's crazy.
So something I discussed with my therapist, I don't have a therapist, I'm alone, but I still discussed this by myself. Yes, I remember. I lost my point, but I got it. It's when it's scary to jump, that's when you jump. Because first of all, if you do, you will end up in places you've never even thought you was possible, right? And if you never jump, you'll always stay in the same place. It's the leap of faith. It's the leap of faith, and of course it's scary. But when was the last time you did something for the first time?
Yeah, like as scary as it is, it's also exciting. And I think go back to that concept of confidence one more time here. What makes it so much more doable, right? Is trusting yourself that yes, it's unknown. There are going to be things that come up that you won't be able to predict. That's the truth of it. But trust that you'll be able to handle whatever does. Whatever does come up, whatever does happen, you'll make it through. You'll get there, you'll reach it, or you'll evaluate the situation, and you'll make the best choice that you can. You don't know what you're preparing for. There's nothing you can study, but it's not going to be like as unknown as it is. Once it's there in front of you, it becomes a known thing, and you'll be able to handle it. And that, I don't know, that thought really helped me as well. To just kind of get the courage to take the leap, because I would catastrophize things, right? I'm like, oh my god, what if I say something stupid, it gets taken out of context, like all these things that could potentially go wrong. And just to tell yourself, one step at a time, whatever does happen, other people have no doubt encountered similar things and survived. You'll be okay.
That reminded me of a quote I heard like a long time ago, where in school or at a job, you get to study for like an exam or some like whatever, you get tested by the company that's trying to hire you. You know what to study, you know what to look for, and then you get the exam. But in reality, like real life, after school, first you get the test and then you get the lesson. And that's something to think about, like, you're not always gonna be best equipped to handle a certain situation, even though you, like, literally next week, you're gonna discover, oh, I should have done that. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just think about it, look back at what has happened, reevaluate, and then keep that in mind for the next time a similar situation happens.
It's like an example of like something happens, it shows you what you need to learn, or something that will be valuable to learn. That's a launch point It kind of sucks now if you like run your face into a wall on something that you weren't prepared for. But yeah, no, what you say is absolutely true, because from that point, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a situation that can happen, and that's that's the point that you step back and you learn. Absolutely.
We big braining today.
Yeah, buddy. Man, and here I was afraid we would have too short of it. No, I wasn't. I totally wasn't worried about our podcast being too short. I knew better.